Hey y'all, it's me, Nancy. This week I'm going to talk to you about personal goals. So let's talk about that bucket list. Do you even have your bucket list? Do you know what the things are that you want to experience in this life, or goals do you have for yourself, or whatever? Like, do you want to take that trip to somewhere? Do you want to experience a particular thing? Do you just want to challenge yourself in some way? What are those things? What are those things that you later in the next phase of life, when I have enough money, when I have enough time, when the kids are out of the house, when we have kids, when we don't, like, what are all the things after I buy a house, before I buy a house, before or after I get married? Like, what are all those things that you're putting off, that you're saying, I really want to do this thing, no matter how big and how adventurous or how small and not adventurous, right? Everybody has their own goals, their own visions, their own values, their own things that light them up and spark their curiosity, or spark their enjoyment, or spark their just whatever that spark is that you want to be living in life. And so making sure that you have your bucket list, not kind of floating around in your head, but let's make it tangible, like travel. No, travel to where? Like, let's get a little bit specific. And here's what we're talking about: is the difference between setting a goal for your personal life versus setting a goal for your professional life. Because so many of us have professions where we are goal oriented. We do have to set expectations for the week, the month, the quarter, the year, whatever it is. And so we have to set these goals, and then we have to meet them, right? And oftentimes we hear about those SMART goals, are they measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound, all that kind of stuff, right? And so it's really looking at using those same tools you use for work as you do for home. Notice how, when you're setting your goals at work, nowhere in the goal setting process is the how, right? Like, let's really look. When we set our goal of meeting this particular number by this particular date, we set the goal first. We make the commitment first. We set the expectation first. And then we figure out, okay, now let's backtrack that and see what do we need to do incrementally in order to reach that goal. But for some reason, when it comes to personal goals, things that are for just life experience and thriving and experience, we're always like, yeah, but how? How am I going to get the money? How am I going to get the time off of work? How am I going to get to that location? Like, how do I even do this thing? And we focus so much on the hows, we never end up taking action towards setting the goal to begin with, like we do at work. So why is that? Like, let's flip it. Let's not flip it. Let's take what we do that we are successful at when we're doing it for someone else, when we're doing it either for the paycheck or a friend or your boss or your own growth professionally, and take all of those same tools and use them towards the fun things in your life. Just pick a date and pick the goal. Just do it. Just get out the calendar, pick the date, the due date, and reverse engineer it the same way you did at work. The same way you do when you're doing a favor for someone else. Same way you do when you have goals for someone or something else. Put that same care, determination, and tangible goal setting in place for yourself, because you're worth it just as much as they are. So today, take the how out of it. Who cares how you're going to do it? Right now, get out that calendar, figure out what one of those bucket list items are, and smack it on the calendar. And if it is something that's, far off, like a year, months, or even a couple years out, what are the touch points that you need in between? You don't want to get 2 years down the road and then you flip the calendar and it's like, oh, there it is, I didn't do it. No. Monthly, what are you going to do to prepare? What do you need to do each week, month, whatever it is, in order to get those action steps, as if it was a commitment for someone else. Treat yourself with the same care, time, respect, and forget the how. Just do it for yourself the same way you do for others. Figure out the how later. You'll get it. Only if you take action today. So let me know, what are those bucket list items? When are you going to do them? And listen, if you need the how, if you need some help figuring out the how after you choose the date, that's what I'm here for. Just come on over and give me a call, send me an email, and we'll figure that part out together. Okay? Awesome. So let me know what your bucket list items are. I want to know. And I'll see you next week.